Hello, my name is Tracy Anderson and I am a student at Liberty University online. The purpose of this video is to share information about the skills I have learned in my group dynamic class and how I use these skills to facilitate a group discussion. The group discussion surrounded grief and the impact it has on us as individuals. The name of the session is Grief Sharing, and we use several methods to invite people to attend the session. We made church announcements. We personally invited members who have recently experienced the loss of a loved one, and we encouraged them to invite family members and friends who were struggling with grief. The session was to be at Greater Grace Church on November 21st at 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m. in room 117. However, due to lack of support, I had to make other arrangements. I asked some of my co-workers to participate in a group discussion surrounding grief on Monday, November the 25th at 4:30 until 6 p.m. We had 8 people to attend, all women. 4 were African American women, 3 middle-aged, and 1 in her mid-20s. We had 4 Caucasian women, 1 in her late 50s, and 2 middle-aged, and 1 in the mid-20s, and then myself. When I was determining the purpose of the group, I wanted members to understand we sometimes feel like we should handle grief one way or another. But the truth is, everyone grieves differently, and it's okay to learn what methods is best for the individual in processing their grief. Prior to the people showing up, I had made sure to prepare the room, which was now located in a conference room on my job. Before the group arrived, I had prepared the room for the group. Because people were coming after work, I had made sure to have light snacks available: chips, cookies, juice, and water. I had arranged the chairs in a half circle with a grief sharing book in every chair, and the members so that they can follow along with the video and take notes if necessary. We also had mounted on the wall a TV in the center of the room, as we used the video to help the members understand the different ways that people grieve and their process. I took time to settle my spirit and pray before the members showed up to make sure that I was focused and in tune with God as I offered information that would help. People began arriving at around 4:15, and the last person came in around 4:31. At about 4:25, I gathered everyone's attention and encouraged them to grab a snack throughout the session, and I made them aware that we would be getting started on time. Members started taking their seats, and we started at 4:30 with a quick prayer of thanks and asking God to help us learn how to grieve and move forward. Although these were my co-workers, I still introduced myself to the group, and with the group's help, we kind of set up some goals and some expectation for the session. We came up with we would respect one another and listen, even if we had a difference of opinion. We will not share others' story outside of the group, and then we would make every effort to participate in the discussion. Now, I generally facilitate this grief sharing class at my church. However, I did something different at this time. I led the group in rounding because I believe it would help the members to become more comfortable as they introduce themselves and share their one word or describe the grief describe their grief or the one thing they would like to gain from this session. Some of the responses that people felt that grief was devastating. It was trying, and they felt empty. The other things was they wanted to gain out of the session. They wanted to not cry all day. They would like to go one day without feeling guilty about still feeling the pain of losing a loved one. And then one person even said they wanted people to stop saying everything was going to be okay. So having a better understanding of what they wanted, we went into the purpose of the group, which was to better understand how people process grief. I explained how the session would go, that we would watch a video about people and who have lost loved ones and the struggles they are having or have had. There was even the opportunity for them to hear from professional psychologists on how they have dealt with grief of losing their own loved ones. I encourage them to take notes or take note of something that they will see or have done that they may see in the video, and write it down so we can discuss it after. We started the video around 4:50, and as the group paid close attention to what was being said, I observed members agreeing with the video and the people on the video through their interaction with the video. Some was nodding their heads, some was non-verbally giving approval, and then at some point, some of the people even agreed verbally, saying, "Yeah, people do that." So once the video was over, which was around 5:25, 5:30, we began to discuss what had took place in the video and the group. I asked everyone if they had written down anything that they wanted to discuss. And several of them had things that they wanted to talk about, things that they felt encouraged them, and things they felt that they could take on their journey in processing grief. I asked a couple what was going on in their mind when certain things were being talked about. Then they were nodding with their heads or they were agreeing verbally. And some of them said that they could relate because people had did the same thing to them, or they felt that way, and so it was good that they understood and they could relate to what was happening in the video. So as I reflect on how I facilitated my assessment of me and what I did, I wished I had arranged a pre-meeting first of all with the group at church, so then I would have known who would or would not be committed or available to do that time. I also wished I had made arrangements to pre-arrange meeting with the second group, so then I could have better understood what their needs was, so that we could have spent a little bit of time in that introduction, which would have given us more time to discuss their concerns and their issues. So in summary, I believe overall that the group meeting went well. I believe that people walked away knowing that they could grieve the way that they needed to, and it was not one structured way of grieving. I also learned that as a leader, I kind of became a member because I kind of got tied in with my grief and stopped being a leader and became a group member. So I think next time I'll do better with that as well. But overall, again, I think the session went really good, and people walked away feeling like it's okay to grieve the way they need to grieve. Thank you.